I decided to read the National Catholic Register the other day for whatever reason. I saw the title and it's a "Have Your Loved Ones Turn Their Backs on God. Do what Elizabeth Lesieur did." The incredible story of Felix and Elizabeth Lesieur in the great testament to the power of sacrificial love and divine providence. It was by Katya Fitzpatrick. The way, more or less, this is a story. It's your typical story of the long suffering, supplicational, oh, I'm the religious woman with the hard-hearted, bitter, logical, cold man. It's like your typical Bruce Willis movie story thing. And she died. She prayed for him her whole life, and whenever she died, he realized that she had been suffering and praying, and his lack of belief made her suffer. And she prayed, and then he realized that she loved him, and now he loves Jesus, and it's just it melted away his cold atheist heart. And it just goes on and on with this anecdotal, really non-compelling thing. So, Cindy, I would really like for you to dive into the meat of this story. I hope you enjoyed my intro right there.
I did, and I'm glad you pointed out that you went to this specific website because, first of all, allow me to point out that the first thing I saw after reading the article was the first link in the website trending session. I don't know if you saw it. It
Mm-hmm.
was an article saying the born gay myth where ideology masquerades as science.
Oh
And
God.
so I could talk for hours on why what they say in the article is wrong because, yeah, I read it. Uh, but yeah, let's get back to our Frenchies in the story. So, yeah, I don't see anything particularly miraculous here. Yeah, women feel strongly about something, men doesn't. Woman dies, man discovers she felt strongly about her belief, and after years, he decides to believe the same. So if we're talking about a religious belief, then theists will make the whole story sound like something grand, something
Mm-hmm.
miraculous, as they're trying to make it, uh, because they're trying to. Well, his husband was trying to uh, start a beatification process for her, but if we just change the belief and into something like whether a dress is blue or gold or whether pineapple uh, is right on pizza, then the whole thing becomes much, much less interesting. To me, the story itself is boring, really
Yeah,
boring.
it really
But
is.
why a Catholic website would put it forward today, that was much more interesting to me. The article ends this way. It says Elizabeth lived in a very materialistic society, surrounded by atheists and people with contempt.
Oh, poor her.
Instead, she chose to love them as they were. She saw each person as God's creation. She respected their beliefs, even if they were different than hers. Elizabeth
Mm.
brought to life Jesus' word that you love one another, even as I have loved you. And so the way it's phrased, it seems like it's been written to talk about theists today. I think that was the purpose of the article. And as much as I despise the constant victimization that shows even here in those two or three sentences, I'm still kind of glad that it ends promoting acceptance and respect because we saw earlier that it could have been much, much worse. So, yeah, who's Tim? You wanted to say something about this?
Sure, yeah. I mean, my thoughts are all over the place with this because so I was a Christian for a large majority of my life,
Mm.
and
Well, I'm glad you got better.
thank
Yeah.
you so much. It feels I feel better.
Yeah.
Um, I I spent so much of my life, as a Christian, feeling like I had to convert others, and this story really struck me personally because when my wife and I first started dating in our early 20s, um, I had just gotten out of Bible college. I was working in the ministry,
Oh wow.
and she wasn't really Christian. She didn't really know what she believed. She was maybe like a light deist, if anything. It's hard to say. We were in our early 20s and we're in our late 30s now. But I remember this feeling of how it was like so imperative to get her saved
Hmm.
and to get her on the same page as me.
Yep.
And I'll just start from what I wrote here, but the first line of this now as an atheist and having been an atheist for about 15 years is it seems insane to me when
Hmm.
they write the first line says having a loved one who doesn't believe in God is soul crushing.
Yep.
And obviously I don't believe in the existence of a soul, but I mean I get the idea of the feeling of something being soul crushing, and that just seems so insane to me because I would never say that having someone close to me having different beliefs was soul crushing. I'm friends with many Christians, and unless those beliefs were destructive and racist or something terrible, I would
Yep.
never describe their beliefs. I would never tell them, man, it's so soul crushing to me that you're a Christian. um so yeah, I know this story all too well, and like the pressure that family members put on me to convert my wife and make sure she was Christian, and how dangerous it felt to be involved with someone who wasn't Christian. So eventually I lost my faith, and my wife was still religious. Yet, and maybe this speaks as a testament to how much better of a person she is than I, we didn't feel at odds during that time. I think at the end of the day, we both realized we both valued the same things. We were on the same wavelength about 99% of things, just not God's existence. Now she would consider herself an agnostic, and I'm a staunch atheist. But it's a
Yeah.
testament to how people change with time, and that if you truly love someone, you stick with them through the changes. You don't. I just think it's kind of really sad that this woman stuck with this man for so long with the idea that she was eventually going to convert him. That was the end goal.
Yes.
It's such a sad way to have a marriage. Um, so yeah, it's so weird to me now to imagine having to convert someone to the same beliefs as you just so you don't feel lonely or isolated. Um, because I believe that someone's belief in the existence of God doesn't always inform much else about them. There are tons of people in our society who would call themselves deists or theists, and it doesn't really inform much else about their life. Um, so I think you can find yourself agreeing with people on the big important things, and your lack of belief doesn't always have to be a point of contention.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what the entire point of the story was. It's good to suffer. Is that it?
It's suffer porn.
Yeah, someone should tell Catholics that's freaking insane. That was easy. End the show. We're
Yeah.
done.
And the idea that
Serious.
she was suffering so hard being
Yeah.
married to a non-Christian. Oh, that was so terrible. Must have been a living hell.
I know
Jesus.
people like to joke about suffering in the Catholic Church. You hear jokes about it all the time, but there's a reason why we joke about things. You as a comedian know this, right? We parody the things we see wrong in our society that
Right.
bother us, and we bring them up to the surface and joke about them so that we can see it. We see the problems with our society, and by pointing it out, maybe we can fix it. So yeah, and the Catholic Church is really good at guilt too. You
Yeah.
gotta be, if you're not suffering, that's a bad thing. So you gotta,
Mhm.
and guilt is a great motivator. Anybody with a mother can tell you that. And in this case, this guilt that you haven't suffered enough is bad, because if you had suffered enough, all your friends would be Catholic monks by now. So you
Yeah.
need to start suffering even more. It
Yeah.
drives me crazy that this is what the church wants, but then you always hear that saying, Jesus wants you to suffer the little children unto him. Is that what he means? You make the children suffer so they have to turn to him? Is that what that expression is all about? I don't know. I really don't. Jason, I know you're biting the bit over there, so go
Well,
ahead. What do you got?
I mean, the thing is, it's funny because we're like, why is this article here? What is
Right.
the point of this? It's the thing is, it's insidious. That's what's okay. So what you have to understand is that okay. So Katja Fitzpatrick is a former investigative reporter and on-air personality and news producer. So what she does, she was trained in school to write. So she's trained to get your attention. So I made some notes here. So it's I have no clue why this article is compelling. So that's what I put there. It's just more of like anecdotal crap that's supposed to pull at the heartstrings of the reader. So yeah, the format of the article is insidious. The writer uses language that gains the trust of the reader from the onset, plays to the trope of the long-suffering, quiet, pious woman with a hard-hearted, logical, godless man, like I brought up, who upon death, amazingly kind-hearted, submissive, suffering wife. He has a break in his armor, riddled with guilt, dedicates his life to the church. It's a played out old trope. We've seen the movie a million times. What we're not realizing is that the story is riddled with like benevolent sexism. We have this poor pious woman. It's like an infantilization of her. She's married to Christ and to this man, but her marriage to Christ is more important. So what this person is doing, it's like a fluff article. That's all it is. You're playing to these like heuristics to Catholics. So the thing is, like, for those of like Tim and I who were raised evangelical, this would be a little different. So if you read the beginning of the article, you have the term divine providence. It's capitalized, right? It's like, and divine, like, that's not a heuristic for me. That's not like a thing for me. Like for me, it would be like the Holy Spirit, or the baptism of the Holy Spirit. That means something to me. It doesn't really mean anything to me, but you could say that, and it's like, I kind of know where you're going with it. So what this person does with this whole article is they put all these little things. So she lived a private interior life of prayer and mortification. No one says mortification. You know where they say mortification? In Catholic Mass. Constantly offering up. Who says offering up? That's Catholic words. Sufferings for the conversion of souls, especially. See, so that's what it is. It's a suffering porn. It's just like what Kelley hit on. So we have things like suffering porn and fear porn and all of this stuff, to where we're just like, we bathe in this guilt, and I'm more guilty than you. It's funny because I play in a band called The Burden, a hardcore metal punk band. A couple of the guys in the band grew up Catholic. We have a record that we put out called Catholic Guilt, because of this, because of the need for you to always feel like a piece of trash. But that's so funny to me, because you have the whole confession thing, right? Like, so should you really ever feel bad, or is that more of just like an act, like you're playing the game, right? I don't know. It's really, I don't know. It makes sense to me, coming from how I grew up, because we grew up very evangelical, Calvinistic-ish, to where God was a God to be feared type of thing. And we're all gross and we're disgusting and we're all probably possessed, right? So I should feel bad about myself all the time, and I should always be praying, I should always be fasting, and I'm a gross person, and I should just be happy that God even pays attention to me and I might go to heaven. I understand that. So I understand the whole suffering aspect of it, but this plays to a deeper thing. This plays to a sexist idea of that sad, quiet woman role. I don't know. It really,
So true. So
yeah.
true.
I don't know. It really grosses me out, man. I don't know. It's just, Cindy, how do you? I'm passing on to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out, because yeah, it's a very strong subtext in the article that the woman is submissive and
Mhm.
and is right in being submissive. Yeah, the infantilization of the woman here in the article it's quite striking. And I would like to be a little bit fair to the article, because they say a couple of times that the man was kind to her.
Mhm.
He never was. He offered her gifts and things like that. It's specified several times in the article. So the only thing, and that's kind of weird in a way. The only thing that made her suffer is that she didn't believe, nothing else. And again, it plays in this submissive idea, because when you live with someone, um, you share things, right? You do things together. You have feelings for each other. You, and everything you go through together, it builds those feelings, but those are totally denied by the article. It's like
Mhm.
the entire life she led uh, was suffering because he didn't believe. Everything else they went through together, that didn't exist.
Yeah, good call. Good
And
observation.
and I thought that was very, very disingenuous from the
Hmm.
article.
Yeah, I agree. That was a really good observation, Cindy.
For
Really
sure.
Yeah, excellent. I hate because this has been a great conversation, and I really hate to jump in and stop it, but we are running out of time, and I have one final announcement that I would really love to make. Um, you can, if you really enjoyed what we're doing here, all of this cool stuff, and you still want to do it some more, you can join us on our fan social media outlets. You can find a lot of the nonprofit hosts on the atheist community of Discord. Jason and I are there all the time by going to tiny.cc/acd discord. And also you can find us on Facebook at tiny.cc/fbnp. And we really value your feedback. I'm not joking. We really, really do. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like in the comments, or you can email us at nonprofits@atheist-community-community.org. Send us an email. I love to read them. I'd love to hear from all the fans and see what they think would make a better show, or what you think would make a worse show that we should and what we should do, what we shouldn't do. Also, you can visit the Atheist Community of Austin's official website at atheist-community.org for the latest of what's been happening. And feel free to contact the ACA at large at tv@atheist-community.org. So I just want to give everybody a quick minute to to wrap up the show and give us your final thoughts. Jason, you want to start us out?
Yeah, I mean, first, I'm just happy to be here with you guys, and just happy to be able to share these thoughts and really dissect what's going on in this world. It's hard to stay positive whenever you see the majority of the world leaders are wrapped up in some type of religious bullshit that is hell bent to take from us. And I can't help but think that the world would be much better if everybody kept their religion private and to themselves. And I just hope I wake up one day and that's the case. So that's about all I got to say.
All right, cool. Cindy?
Yeah, thanks for having me as well. I always love being here. And to echo what Jason just said, the first word you said is we talk about what happens. And I think too many people are getting apathetic to everything that happens because too many things are happening.
Mhm.
But you cannot navigate in this world if you don't know what happens. And I wish this show and other shows talking about what happens and dissecting all this were more viewed and more popular and more shared because we need to know. We need to know what happens because we have to react to it.
Yeah,
Right,
I agree.
right. And Timothy, I had a lot of fun with you here today. Where
Thanks so
can
much.
people find you at?
Yeah, I'm most active on TikTok at Timothy Bethel. You can find me there. I post a lot of atheist content and I react to a lot of Christian content and give my views about how I find it destructive and antithetical to progressive society. So please go find me on TikTok and interact with me. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I hope we can pick up some followers for you there. I had a really good time with you today. So
Thanks so
Yeah.
much. I had a great time with all of you.
Yeah.
yeah,
for sure.
and I just want to say at the end, be the change in the world that you want to see. There's that idea of the butterfly effect that a butterfly can flap its wings and start a hurricane on the other side of the world. Be the freaking butterfly. And with that, I just also want to say thanks to everybody that was here. Thanks to the crew for helping us out here. And I want to thank most of all you for watching and listening. And we will see you next week.
Watch Talk Heathen live Sundays at 1 p.m. Central. Visit tiny.cc/ytth and call into the show at 512-991-9242 or connect to the show online at tiny.cc/callth.